What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another NFL Showdown breakdown, courtesy of Awesemo.com. Today, we're talking about a Monday Night Football matchup between the Washington Redskins, projected for 19.5 points by Las Vegas, 6-point underdogs to the Philadelphia Eagles, were projected for 25.5 points. This kind of screams an ugly game to me, and I'll walk you through every part of it as best I can, but make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video, in which I will tell you how you can win an NFL season pass to Awesemo.com for free from us by just doing a few simple things with this little video. But first, let's talk about the game. Colt McCoy has not been good since taking over as a starting quarterback of the Redskins. He's throwing picks on 6.1% of his dropbacks and getting sacked on 9.1%. I would only play him as a contrarian play, and even then, I'm really not into him at his price for this showdown slate. But just because McCoy stinks doesn't mean that all of his weapons will suffer. Jordan Reed has been a guy who's had some decent games since McCoy took over, and he'll be the first place people look as a target. I think the volume would be the reason you would go to him there. Football Outsiders DVOA actually has the Eagles as giving up a 29.1% decrease in tight end production. So it could be a tough day for Jordan Reed, but he sees enough volume where maybe it won't matter. People may be inclined to go to Trey Quinn here. He's a rookie. He's got a decent target load. That tends to be a recipe for wanting to roster a guy. I don't mind Trey Quinn here. However, I actually think I might prefer Josh Doctson in this matchup. It's a showdown slate, so you're trying to play the contrarian options that can help you differentiate your lineup. And I do think Josh Doctson is a guy who could differentiate, putting up the most air yards on the team since Colt McCoy took over as a starting quarterback. The price difference will probably put more people on Trey Quinn than Doctson, and I think the fact that people also think Josh Doctson stinks, a completely valid opinion to have, will probably affect his ownership as well. But if you want to play a guy who has some upside, and again, just a ton of air yards since Colt McCoy took over, I think that Doctson does fit the bill, even though he is not the most trustworthy player in the league or this slate. The Washington run game is a shot to get something going, with the Eagles allowing 4.9 yards per rush. That right there gives me a bit of interest in Adrian Peterson, as well as some interest in Chris Thompson, who's returning to the lineup, has had some full practices, and has been a guy who's shown a pretty big ceiling before when he's been healthy. Normally, it's not a great approach, but I do think it's a viable play to roster both Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson together, because I think the Redskins are going to want to keep the ball out of Colt McCoy's hands, given the way that he can throw the game away, literally and figuratively, in a million different ways. The Eagles' pass game looks more appealing to me than the run game, though it does appear as though Josh Adams is on track to play after being questionable on the injury report. I have no issue with Josh Adams at his price. Getting 20 touches a game at that price on a showdown slate is hard to ignore. But the one thing the Redskins have been consistent about this year is defending the rush fairly well. And I think with people pretty likely to gravitate towards Adams, again, because of that price and the amount of touches, I think fading him might be a move, and going with the Eagles' pass attack could differentiate a little bit more. Carson Wentz has struggled lately, but I'm fine with him. I think he's going to bounce back eventually. And his main target the last few weeks since joining the team has been Golden Tate. Tate has led the team in air yards, and he seems like the guy who, at this point, is the safest pass catcher outside of Zach Ertz. But I also really like Alshon Jeffrey. He's been less involved in the offense the last few weeks, and the lack of targets is pretty disconcerting. But guys have really burned the Redskins at the wide receiver 1 position. We just saw what Amari Cooper did over Thanksgiving. I think Jeffrey's in a pretty good spot, and people will be off them just because those box scores look bad the last few weeks. Zach Ertz looks as good as always, but at his price, I could see wanting to get away from him. I think if you go with a Wentz, Tate, Jeffrey stack, instead of one involving Ertz, you're going to save some money. You're going to differentiate because people want to roster the highest priced guy because he's typically the best guy, and I think that could be a bit of leverage on the field if Ertz doesn't have the big day that he's capable of. I still like Ertz, but when a guy is that high priced as a tight end, it is not impossible to fade him and be successful. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough scoring or yardage here to justify going to the kickers, but in a game without anybody in that super cheap price range who I'm interested in, I think going to the kickers, if the price works, is a totally fine move. I'd be slightly more interested in Dustin Hopkins than Jake Elliott, just because I think Colt McCoy is more likely to stall out in the red zone than the Eagles are with the amount of weapons they have at their disposal. The Eagles D would be far more playable to me than the Washington D. I just think that Colt McCoy is far more inclined to get sacked, give up picks, maybe fumble the ball and lead to a defensive touchdown. Whereas Carson Wentz, though he's been not that great, I see this as a bounce back spot for him at home in a game in which the Eagles have to win to stay alive in the NFC East race. So there we have it in this Monday Night Football showdown, a key game in the NFC East, but probably not a super interesting one if you are outside of that region. But as I mentioned up front, now is your time to win a free NFL pass for the rest of the season to our premium offerings at Awesemo.com. All you have to do is like this video, leave a comment telling me your favorite play for this showdown slate, and all of a sudden, you'll be entered to win an NFL pass for the rest of the season to Awesemo.com. It's all part of our 24 days of giveaways, our way of saying thanks to you for supporting us during this holiday season. All you have to do is watch your favorite Awesemo shows here on YouTube. Each one will give you an entry to win every single day, as well as being put into a grand prize drawing at the end, where we're going to give away an all-access pass, an annual one, to Awesemo.com on Christmas Eve. That prize is worth several $100s, so it's a really fun one that we can give away at the end. There'll be more exciting stuff each week, but this first week it's all NFL passes, very relevant for you if you're watching this video, so go like and leave a comment. And of course, we're still giving away free week trials. All you have to do is use the promo code I'm going to drop right here. That's MUN Showdown. It'll give you 1 free week of Awesemo.com, all the ownership projections and rankings, including ones for this Showdown slate. So go use that promo code MUN Showdown right now on Awesemo.com. Get your free week. Like the video, leave a comment to get a shot to win a free rest of season NFL pass. And I'll be back again with you soon for more Showdown breakdowns.